I started noticing strange lights in the sky at night. I never considered myself a conspiracy theorist. Sure, I liked the occasional UFO documentary and found stories about the unexplained fascinating, but they were just that. Stories. At least, that's what I thought until the night I first saw the lights. It began innocuously enough. I just moved into a small rental house on the outskirts of a sleepy little town called Brookhaven. The house sat on a hill, surrounded by thick woods, with a view of the sprawling valley below. It was quiet, peaceful, exactly what I needed after the chaos of my life in the city. The first night was uneventful, the second too. But by the third night, everything changed. The first sightings. I was sitting on the porch, sipping a cup of tea and gazing at the stars. The sky here was clearer than I'd ever seen, the Milky Way stretching across the heavens like a ribbon of light. It was mesmerizing. That's when I noticed it, a faint glow on the horizon. At first, I thought it was the moon rising, but it was too small and too green. The light pulsated, growing brighter, then dimmer, almost like it was breathing. "What the hell is that?" I muttered, leaning forward. The light hovered for a moment, then shot straight up into the sky, disappearing in an instant. I sat there for a long time, staring at the spot where it had been. Maybe it was a drone, I told myself, or a satellite. But deep down, I wasn't convinced. Recurring appearances. Over the next few nights, the lights became a regular occurrence. They appeared around the same time, usually just after midnight, in different colors, green, blue, sometimes a fiery orange. They would hover, move in erratic patterns, then vanish. It wasn't just the lights that were strange. I began noticing odd sounds too. A low hum that seemed to come from nowhere, and a strange clicking noise, almost like Morse code. The animals in the area seemed to sense something as well. Coyotes howled more frequently, and the birds that usually filled the mornings with their songs were eerily silent, digging for answers. Curiosity soon got the better of me. I started keeping a journal, jotting down the times and colors of the lights, their movements, and any accompanying sounds. I also began asking around town. Most people shrugged off my questions, chalking the lights up to military exercises or weather phenomena. But there was one person who seemed to know more, a grizzled old man named Henry, who ran the local hardware store. When I mentioned the lights to him, his face darkened. "You've seen them too?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper. I nodded. "You stay away from them, you hear me? Nothing good comes from messing with those lights." Before I could ask what he meant, he turned and walked away, leaving me more unsettled than ever. Closer encounters. A week later, the lights came closer. I was in bed, trying to sleep, when I noticed a faint glow outside my window. Pulling back the curtain, I saw one of the lights hovering just above the treetops, no more than 50 yards away. It was bright blue, almost blinding, and it pulsed rhythmically. I felt an odd sensation, like static electricity prickling my skin. Suddenly, the light darted toward the house. I stumbled back, heart racing, as the room was bathed in blue light. The hum I'd heard before was louder now, almost deafening. Then, as quickly as it had come, the light vanished. Unexplainable phenomena. The next morning, I found strange scorch marks on the ground near the edge of the woods. They formed a perfect circle, the grass charred black, and the soil beneath it seemed to shimmer in the sunlight. That wasn't all. My electronics started acting up. Phones, laptops, even my old radio. They would glitch, turn on and off by themselves, or emit strange static noises. And then there were the dreams. They started as vague, disjointed images, flashes of strange landscapes, tall spindly figures, and that same pulsating light. But they grew more vivid, more disturbing. I began waking up drenched in sweat, the hum from my dreams still echoing in my ears. The signal. One night, I decided to record the sounds I'd been hearing. Using an old handheld recorder, I set it up on the porch and let it run. When I played it back the next day, my blood ran cold. Beneath the hum and clicking noises, there was something else, a voice. It was faint, distorted, but unmistakable. Watching, waiting. I listened to the recording over and over, trying to decipher the words. Was it a warning? A threat? The visit. Everything escalated after that. One night, around 2 a.m., I woke to a strange feeling of pressure in my chest, like something was sitting on top of me. The room was bathed in a faint green glow, and when I looked toward the window, I saw them. 3 figures, tall and thin, with elongated limbs and large reflective eyes. They stood motionless, staring at me through the glass. I tried to move, but I was paralyzed. The glow grew brighter, filling the room, and the hum became a deafening roar. Then, just as suddenly as it began, it stopped. When I regained control of my body, the figures were gone. The underground facility. Desperate for answers, I decided to investigate the woods where the lights seemed to originate. Armed with a flashlight and a sense of determination, I ventured out late one night. After hours of searching, I stumbled upon something I wasn't expecting, an underground facility. The entrance was hidden beneath a dense thicket, a heavy metal hatch that looked decades old. Against my better judgment, I opened it and climbed down the ladder into the darkness. The facility was abandoned, or so it seemed. The walls were lined with monitors, most of them cracked or flickering with static. There were tables covered in strange instruments, and files scattered across the floor. One of the files caught my eye. It was labeled Project Lumina, The Truth. The file contained reports, diagrams, and photographs. It described experiments involving extraterrestrial phenomena and attempts to communicate with non-terrestrial entities. The lights, it seemed, weren't random. They were part of a larger event. Something had been summoned, something that couldn't be controlled. As I read, the hum returned, louder than ever. The facility began to shake, and the lights on the monitors flickered wildly. I grabbed the file and ran, scrambling up the ladder just as the ground beneath me collapsed. The aftermath. I left Brookhaven the next day, but the lights followed me. No matter where I go, I see them in the night sky, hovering, waiting. The hum is always there, faint but persistent, a reminder that they're watching. I don't know what they want or why they chose me, but one thing is certain. This is far from over, and I fear the worst is yet to come.